Hi guys, I'm Jessie Nelson.
Hi, I'm Leanne.
Hi, it's Jade Thirlwell.
Hi, I'm Perrie.
And this
Is my
Teenage self.
box of love.
Let's go in the box.
Let's do this.
Right.
What was your nickname growing up? Jesminda was my nickname. Yeah, and it's still my nickname now, actually.
Dory. I got called very often. I was quite forgetful as a child, and I'd always walk into the room and leave the door wide open, and all my family would be like, Dory, did you forget to shut that down? So yeah, Dory, and just Pez, Periwinkle, you know, cutesy names.
My nickname growing up was Pickle, because everyone used to say I was so little and cute they could put me in a pickle jar. And that just stuck. I didn't mind that nickname. It's the worst ones, isn't there?
Does anyone still call you Pickle?
The girls did actually in the beginning, because they obviously would ask like, oh, what's your nickname? And I said Pickle. So they used to call me Pickle in the very beginning, and that got replaced with Poopy, because whenever I'm nervous, I have a panic poo. So I'm known for that before going on stage, and that stuck.
Okay, what was your favourite song growing up? I mean, so many. I think my ultimate club song actually was 50 Cent, Candy Shop. That was my club song. But my favourite song, I just loved slow jams, like Joe, Genuine, Jagged Edge, Amarian, just anything R&B.
What was my favourite song? There was a movie called The Magic Sword Quest to Camelot. And it's so random because not many people have heard of this movie, and I feel like it didn't exist and I've made it up in my head. But it had the best soundtrack. And Steve Perry from Journey, who I'm named after, who I'm obsessed with, he did a song for it, and it was called I Stand Alone. And I used to listen to that song on repeat on my CD player with my headphones in. I was just obsessed with it. That was such a good song. If you haven't seen that movie, please watch it. I know it might not make sense now that we're older, but it was just the best film ever.
Okay, who was your celebrity crush and have you met them? My girl crush was definitely Zoe Kravitz. I think if I met her, I'd be a bit speechless. Growing up, I used to fancy the Backstreet Boys, but I've never met them yet.
Do you have a particular?
Not really. Yeah, not really actually, any of them. Although I will say that my current boyfriend, when Rizzle Kicks were popping off, I did always fancy Jordan.
You know, I've had a few of those. One for me when I was a kid was Justin Timberlake, and no, I haven't met him. And I remember writing into a fan thing where you could like win to meet him on tour, and I like spent hours on this picture. I stuck loads of crap on it from Hobbycraft and really genuinely thought I was going to win it, and I didn't. I think I actually cried for a solid 2 days when I didn't win. So.
What was the most embarrassing trend you took part in? Oh, all of them. I mentioned it recently. Those skirts, they were like half denim, half fabric, and they used to like hang, and they were just the most random thing. They were really cute in the moment though. Also vests with like all different belts on. Like, why did we feel like we needed more than one? And then those like jeggings. Jeggings were a thing. So many, just all of them. I went through an emo stage as well. I loved my emo stage.
There was a phase where I did always try to straighten my hair, which was hard to do as a teenager with very thick, bushy hair. Obviously, I have a hair size now. And this style's not far off what the girls used to do when we were younger. Like, all the chavs would have the 2 stringy bits and the slicked back hair, but I couldn't do it myself, so I did my best. And then remember going to the hairdressers with a picture of Victoria Beckham when she had the bob, and was like, can you do my hair like this? And it was the worst thing I ever did, because obviously I've got naturally very curly, thick hair. So they did it lovely, and then the minute I left and washed my hair, I had a fringe like pinging everywhere. It was too short, it was really awful. And then also there was the phase of like, remember when people put like concealer on their lips? Why did we do that? Like, we deliberately wanted to look dead to everyone.
Pedal pushers. Anything in the 2000s, if you notice, just doesn't come back. Like the medallion belts, like just, because it was just so bad.
There's too many Huns. I think the first one was the really slick Rick gelled back hair, but like leaving your sideburns out and like just making my hair like really crispy, like moussey. No, it was not the one. Like the curly hair, crispy. I don't know why I thought that having my hair looking like seaweed would look good. But you know, I went with the trend, guys. It was on trend. And then probably putting concealer on my lips and then putting lip gloss over the top. And then also having like piles and piles of mascara on that my eyelashes look like tarantulas. Honestly, I was a real treat to look at as a kid.
What was your most awkward teenage dating moment? Oh my goodness. So I went to the cinema with this guy and there was nothing on because we didn't plan it. And we ended up going to watch a spelling bee documentary. It was the most boring, like strangest date I've ever had. It was just so like bizarre. Yeah, and it just wasn't good. Didn't see him again.
Where do I start? Honestly, there's so many. I mean, bless my best friend Holly, who I've known since school, who I literally live with now still. I used to constantly force her to be my third wheel, no matter what date I was on. Holly, bless her, would always have to be there. And now I look back and think, I'm so sorry I did that to you. The amount of movie trips and dates where she would just be standing there awkwardly. And I put her through that, and she's still here now, so what can I say? That's best friends for years, isn't it?
Oh, gosh. I've probably been scarred by it. I've forgotten. I don't think I have one. I had my first kiss when I was like 15, 16. I was a bit of a prude.
I mean, it wasn't a date. It was me trying to impress a boy. So as a kid, I really fancied this like skater boy who would like come to visit. I think they were like my mum's friends. They'd come down to visit and I thought, oh my God, he's so good looking. And he was like a skater girl. And I thought, oh, he's gonna want to skate a girl. So I like picked up, I went and made my mum buy, this is God's honest truth, when I made my mum buy a skateboard and like went out and I don't know, I think I was on like a slope of the drive and he was at the bottom and I was like, watch me. And I got on the skateboard and literally went like this, flipped up, smashed my elbow and broke my arm in 3 places.
Where was your first kiss? My first kiss was in the Lake District. I went on a school trip and I went up a hill with a group of friends and I stood behind a tree and I kissed my first person. And I remember it being really sloppy and horrible, like teeth clashing, tongues wagging. We both obviously didn't have a clue what we were doing. And then I just thought, that's it now, I'm married. That's it now. Get your hats, everyone.
My first kiss was absolutely horrendous and it actually like put me off for life ever wanting to kiss a boy. I remember I was behind a tree over a park and everyone was like pressuring me like, go on, go on. And I really didn't want to. And then I did it, succumbed to the peer pressure. And it was literally like a washing machine. It was disgusting. And he was just like, the whole time I remember thinking, oh, I don't ever want to do this again. This is gross.
Who did you have posters on your bedroom walls? Okay, I actually went through a phase of decorating my whole wall and my brother like drew, because he's so good at art, he made me like a massive hippie Volkswagen like hippie van and he drew it and then I put like handprints all over it and flowers all over it and then I had Twiggy on my wall because I love Twiggy. I had Peter Pan, the real life version, Jesse McCartney, just all my crushes really that I used to think I was actually married to as a child.
So I had Lil Romeo just because I fancied him. I feel like I might have had a B2K poster or maybe that was my sister. I'd had Justin Bieber again because I fancied him. Yeah.
I had Aqua. I used to love Aqua. S Club 7, I used to collect their magazines as well on subscription. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Destiny's Child, Samantha Mumba, icon. Yeah, she was a big feature on the old wall, which is very different from my brother's because next door it was very like Zoo and FHM. It was like, my brother is 5 years older than me, so he had like, you know, Jordan and all the big booby women.
Right, which girl bands did you most look up to? There's so many, obviously Spice Girls, legends. TLC, Destiny's Child, On Vogue. Who else? Yeah, they were the main ones for me.
I mean, obviously the Spice Girls were a big one for me. I had a Spice Girls wallpaper. I had like, remember when everyone used to have like the border around the room as well, and it had like pretended signatures on, and when my friends would come around and be like, the Spice Girls have signed my bedroom, and they were like, Spice Girls have been in your bedroom and signed it. I was like, yeah. So yeah, I really looked up to the Spice Girls. Loved TLC, Destiny's Child were a big one. I'd play their album on loop. And of course the OGs, the Supremes, I was obsessed with because my mum was. We'd always listen to Diana Ross and the Supremes. And I think that's where my love of girl bands first formed, to be honest.
What TV show, movie was your teenage self obsessed with? So many. Nickelodeon, Keenan and Kel, Sister Sister, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, just anything on Nickelodeon at that time. And if I could choose movie, I don't know if anyone's going to remember this movie, but it's called Monkey Trouble. Do you remember that? And I was obsessed with it. Yeah.
Tracy Beaker, The Dumping Ground. Loved that. Bernard's Watch. This is really old school. Rosie and Jim. Bananas in Pyjamas. I'm really taking it back, old school style. What else? What's the one where you had to collect the monkeys? It was like a game show. Jungle Run. Yeah, love Jungle Run. Oh, there were so many, but my absolute fave was Tracy Beaker, The Dumping Ground. And I actually remember going for an audition for it and I didn't get it. I was fuming.
I feel like the first thing that springs to mind is probably Glee. That was a big one growing up, and Ugly Betty. I was so into musical theatre and stuff as well, so Glee was like dreamy for me. And then with Ugly Betty, I think I really related to her.
What was your signature scent? I think it was a classic for most girls. Britney Spears, the pink bottle with the green diamonds in. Oh, what a classic.
Britney Spears, Curious. Can you remember it? It was in a blue bottle, and then she brought out Britney Spears Fantasy, which was so sweet. Like, I can smell it now. I would be able to tell you now if it was. And I still, to this day, own a Midnight Fantasy, which was the dark blue bottle. Because that's stunning, I'm sorry. She paved the way for celeb perfumes and no one's done it better since.
Okay, next, what was your dream career? Definitely what I'm doing now. I get to live my dream. I always wanted to be a singer. There was nothing else that I felt like I was good at or that I was gonna do, other than maybe being a drama teacher or a vet.
She wanted to be a singer since I can remember. I had like a period of wanting to be like a social worker or a primary school teacher, but I think it was just something that I thought, oh, I could do this, but I never really wanted to. I just always wanted to perform and be a pop star.
What was your worst subject at school? Probably maths. I'm very good with creative stuff. I love English and English literature. That's like my favourite lesson at school. I remember doing a big competition where they brought some maths people into school and they thought I was like a prodigy because they brought in Sudoku and that I can do really well. And part of this test was Sudoku and I nailed it so quickly. They thought I was like a child genius and moved me up to all the top classes and then realised like a week later that I was just at everything else.
Probably maths, because there was a boy in my maths class that I really fancied and I just did not pay attention. I was just flirting with him the whole time. So yeah, maths.
What advice would you give your teenage self? I think, without sounding generic, just to believe in yourself and not care what other people think. Those people in school, they're not going to be in your lives forever if you don't want them to be. So what is the point in worrying about what they say and what their opinions are? So I think just to be positive and just make sure you're confident in yourself, because that's what I really lacked growing up and I wish I was more confident. So yeah, definitely that.
The advice I would give my teenage self is to just believe in myself more. I always doubted like myself, like when it came to like singing, and I just wish that I'd like believed in myself more, but you know, I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't have gone through all the things I've gone through. So yeah, but I think believe in myself a bit more. Teenage Jessie is so bloody proud of me because like I've achieved everything I wanted like from a kid. So yeah, I'm quite proud of myself.
I would say to stop trying your best to like fit in or be popular. In the first few years of school I had a really tough time. I got bullied quite a bit because I was very nerdy, and I actually love that about myself now. I love how much of a geek I am and how much I love reading, but it felt so uncool to me then that I'd literally like hide who I was and try my best to like fit in with the popular kids. And I remember every time I'd try and do that, kind of like Mean Girls and stuff, when you'd finally get invited to a party and you'd feel so validated and you'd turn up and you wouldn't have a good time, you'd just be trying your best to look like you're having a good time and proving to the world why you were like pretty enough or whatever it was. I remember having an obsession with trying to get in the boys' top 10s because that was a thing at school. And you'd go on MSN and they'd list the top 10s and I was never in it and I used to get so upset and I think, oh God, it's so boring, why did you care so much? And yeah, I used to get so upset about my spots because I had acne and all these things. I just worry so much, and I think in turn the more you worry, the more your body does react to that stress. So yeah, I would just tell myself to not worry so much and be more confident in who I am.
I would tell them to keep believing in yourself and to keep your determination and just don't give up. Keep going, and you're doing great. You're doing so good. Just keep going for it. That's what I would say.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! Dan, thank you for watching me delve into my teenage self.
Yeah! Teenage self. There's the jingle.
Thank you for watching me look back on my teenage self.
So guys, that was my teenage self. Mwah.